what happened over the weekend, which a lot of you probably didn't see because it's not necessarily making your mainstream news headlines. And this is that a U.S. delegation met with the Taliban in their first high-level talks since our pullout of Afghanistan. This was to try to have one of those meetings with a diplomatic meeting. It's like, you're going to hold up your end, right? You're going to be good. You're going to make sure Al-Qaeda stays out. You're going to, stick to what we agreed upon.
In Ned Price's readout of the meetings that took place Saturday and Sunday, and this is a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, he said the discussions were candid and professional, with the U.S. delegation reiterating that the Taliban will be judged on its actions, not only its words. Well, one, it's cringeworthy to hear them again say candid and professional when talking about their talks with the Taliban, but also they'll be judged by their actions, not only their words. We're already seeing a return to the dark ages of Afghanistan, where women are oppressed, minorities are oppressed, religious minorities are oppressed and being killed for their faith or their gender or their race. This is something that is already reverted back to by the Taliban in just the last month. And yet they're saying they'll be judged on their actions, not only their words.
This meeting isn't about granting recognition or confirming legitimacy, but we all know that legitimacy has already been confirmed. I think that, yes, maybe on the global stage in all technical senses, have all the I's and T's been crossed or I's been dotted, T's been crossed? No. But do I think that we have decidedly said that in essentially the way that we've created the tone?
And to hear the things that they're talking about, like Reuters points out that it's a top priority to hold the Taliban to its commitment that it will not allow Afghanistan to again become a hotbed for Al-Qaeda or other extremists. Well, other extremists could be the Taliban. It is already now a hotbed for terrorism because the Taliban controls the territory in the country. Yeah. So no matter what, they can't live up to that commitment.
It's already a hotbed of terror.
That's what it is now.
Talking about talking with the Taliban, negotiating with the Taliban. Let's flip over to former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Let's see what he has to say about that. Again, this is from our new series. Take a listen.
I can't help but also look to the current Secretary of State, who has stated we have shifted to a diplomatic chapter with the Taliban. Do you think that you've sat down with them, you've met with them, do you think that's a feasible goal, that having a diplomatic relationship? It sounds crazy coming out of my mouth as someone who for the last 20 years has heard the Taliban as a terrorist organization for the last 20 years, and now say we're going to have a diplomatic relationship with them. It's hard for Americans, hard for me to even fathom it. But you've been there, you've met with them. Is that a goal?
No, this is still the same Taliban that harbored Osama bin Laden and caused all kinds of challenges for the United States of America. They are still playing footsie with Al-Qaeda. They've not turned a new leaf. This is not going to be. I didn't see Thomas Jefferson sitting across the table from me or any near replica of that. The thing they understood was power. The thing they understood was the resolve of someone to push back against them. That was the only thing that could shape their behavior. It wasn't some kind word or some démarche that we issued to them.
The Trump administration did meet with the Taliban to get concessions from the Taliban, assurances, before we withdrew. Right. And that's something the Biden administration criticized President Trump and Secretary Pompeo for doing. But they were doing it at the right time. After you pull out and you give up all of the leverage, all of the military machinery, all of the security there, and you leave Americans behind, then you're negotiating from a position of weakness. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing from the Biden administration, unlike what Secretary of State Pompeo did, was trying to negotiate from a position of strength so that we could leave in a better position than we are in now, which is in a very dire position.
They'll just say, well, we're negotiating now because, we have all of this financial things that we can impact them with, not give them billions and trillions of dollars. How about we don't do that in the first place? No? Does that not seem like a good enough plan? That maybe we shouldn't be funding the Taliban?